Hi YouTube. I haven't been on in a while, a number of things, not the least of which has been that I've been sidelined by mechanical issues on the van. Some things were predicted and expected and planned for, and other things were not. So I'm just cycling through the process of doing the maintenance and repair work that a 23-year-old vehicle requires, and it takes me some time because it's my daily vehicle that I drive back and forth to work and use for errands and all kinds of other things other than just, you know, bounding around, camping and sightseeing and that kind of thing. So it's the only vehicle I have. So when it goes down, I have to try and make plans accordingly. I live in Northern California, not way north, but the northern part of California, and we've had these gigantic mega firestorms happening in specifically my area. Paradise, California is fairly close to me. Woolsey and the Hill Fire down south are a little bit further away. So I've been following that Paradise fire closely, and I'm just feeling very, very sad for the devastation, the people that have lost their homes, the people that have lost their lives, lost loved ones. It's horrendous, devastating, and there's nothing I can do, really. I mean, I can gather clothing and make contributions and so forth to different funds or you know, try and provide something that from what I have to help out. But in thinking about the situation and watching the videos and things that I've been able to watch, the thing that I reflect on is that we all individually need to be prepared for something like this, because this can happen to anyone at any time. It may not be a fire, it may be a flood, it may be an earthquake, it may be some other disaster or catastrophe. But the fact is that once we are involved in something like that, once that overtakes us, the two words that come to mind are overtake and overwhelm. There are some things we are powerless to deal with, and you know, in the case of some unfortunate people in Paradise, they lost their lives. If that isn't the case, if we're able to outrun the disaster or find safety or high ground within the unfolding of a disaster, and we're able to survive, then the next step is this disaster going to overwhelm us? Well, certainly losing your home is overwhelming. There's no doubt about that. But is there anything that a person can do, even if that's the case, to at least put themselves in the best position or a better position to deal with the circumstances that they're going to be facing? And my answer is yes. I have this wonderful road trek vehicle that's self-contained. It's like a home on wheels. It's never more than steps away from me. I'm either in it or near it, either at work or at home. It's not stored in some storage facility miles away. It's my daily driver. It's what I commute in, what I drive in, what I do my work in when I need to do that kind of work. I have everything I need to sustain myself for many, many days at a time, weeks, if I stock up. I'm fortunate in that regard. But other people, they don't have the ability to have that or use that, or it's not economically feasible. They have a long commute, whatever it might be. What can they do? What can other people do to put themselves in the best position possible to sustain themselves over a long period of time when normal services have been suspended, damaged beyond repair, or otherwise not available? So let's go into that, and I'm just going to put forward my ideas, and I appreciate any comments from anybody out there to add to this and try and work together as a community to think about this and be aware of it, but not only think and be aware, actually take action and do what you can on a daily basis to be prepared. These things don't happen every day. Hopefully they'll never happen. But when they happen and you're caught up in that, it overtakes you faster than you can react. So if it's possible to survive, then the question is, can you push back on what's overwhelming you by having prepared yourself a little bit in the event something like this should happen? So we're going to go inside and take a look at some of the things that I've pulled out of the road trek and collected, and tried to think in terms of what do we need to maintain ourselves. So let's go take a look at what I put together. Okay, so real quickly, here's what I've come up with. The first thing we need is water. That's essential. You can't survive very long without water. Next, I've got, some food, something that you can eat, relatively high energy, something that's quick, that doesn't require any preparation or heat or refrigeration or anything like that. The non-fat dry milk with something to reclose the package. You can pour some water in here and make a little milk to have a bowl of cereal. Rinse out the container and make some sort of a energy drink or hydration solution, some granola bars, some dried fruit of some kind, and of course a little bit of chocolate just for that, comfortable feeling. Maybe some people are allergic to peanuts, can't eat peanut butter or crackers. I'm not allergic to those things. I would suggest putting something else in place of those things, some substitute, quick, high protein, high energy type food with some carbohydrates, whatever your system can tolerate. So that takes care of the first step, some nourishment. Next step is something to keep us clean, be able to maintain ourselves a little bit. Some wipes. A magic eraser is what they call a powerful clean with water alone. Yes, that's true, and I use them all the time. This vial here contains vinegar. Vinegar is an excellent bactericide or sanitizer. And here I have some steel wool, or in this case a little scouring stainless, in case you burn something in a pot or a pan. If you have the ability to cook something, that's helpful to clean things up. So that's cleaning supplies. Back here I just have a blanket in a container, and of course our toiletries, toothbrush, toothpaste, deodorant, etc. and so forth. The cleaning wipes will give you the ability to freshen up. The sponge is good just for general purpose cleanup. Then over here, along with the towel or the blanket, a little hydrogen peroxide for cuts or wounds, or just general antiseptic purposes is good. A Stay Cool towel. That can be drenched in water and keep you cool if it's real hot or you're in a smoky environment. It can help you breathe a little bit easier. First aid kit, obviously, we don't need to talk about that. You can stock it as you see fit. A bath towel, some hand towels, some rubber gloves. All things that are, these are latex gloves, all things that are, important to cleaning things up. If you need to, you can carry a little alcohol, which we have over here, to disinfect the gloves. If you have to touch somebody or something that might be questionable as far as, handling them or cleaning up after handling them. Changes of clothes. I keep it very brief. I have 3 days of clothes here. I have a couple pair of pants, shirts. You have to consider your weather conditions. Mine are very mild, so my clothing can be relatively lightweight. The blanket, sufficient to keep me warm, provided I layer clothing. I can stay pretty warm with just this blanket. Over here, this is kind of a luxury, but maybe for some people a necessity. I have a way to make coffee. Again, over on this side I can use the powdered milk to cream it if I want to, add sugar to this little mix of things. I have a way to heat water. I have a way to boil water. Sometimes we're in a circumstance where water's available, but it's questionable as to, its toxicity. And a lot of times, specifically up in the northern Bay Area where the fire was going on, there's a boil water alert. That water is available, but it's been sitting in pipes and so forth, and it's advisable to boil the water before consuming it. So this enables you to do that with, you need some fire. So we have an alcohol stove, a stand to put the pot or whatever on, way to light it, and extra alcohol. A mug, obviously, or thermos is a good way to keep things warm or cold. I like having familiar things. If my house had burned down and I had nothing else, at least I would have a few familiar possessions that I use on a regular basis. So that would be exceedingly comfortable to me, to be eating out of dishes that are familiar and using utensils that I love and cherish. Over here, obviously a cell phone if there's cell service available, some batteries or power of some kind. So tools, I've just located a tool here. I have more tools in the van, but some kind of a tool, pliers, knife, those sorts of things. Connecting cables for your devices. I have a few here. Light. I'm going to turn this one on. I'm going to turn it down. So now you have a way of negotiating things at nighttime. That's very important. If you have a tarp or some kind of covering, some cable or paracord, a few carbiners, some scissors maybe to cut things down or customize them to a particular use. Those things are all handy. Sewing thread, needle, they can be handy not just for mending things, but you might be able to suture a wound or close up a severe wound. Even if it's not perfect, You can boil it, disinfect it, and with your other tools, and maybe help somebody get into a little more comfortable situation or stop some bleeding. Good to have needle and thread, even if it's just to sew on a button. This is an alternative to my particular desired setup here. Boy Scout knife, fork, and spoon. Easy to carry. These are things that I don't use on a routine basis, but they're mine, they're comfortable, and I use them from time to time, so they're friends of mine. I feel comfortable with them. If it's all I had, it would be a comfort to me. So that's my little setup, my layout, the things that I've thought about that I keep on board all the time. If I run out, I make sure, and the next thing I do is go get them and put them back in the vehicle. How does this all pack up? Well, let's take a look and see what we can do. So, so this is how it packed down for me. I've got my water, my thermos container, all the things I had out on the table, either in this bag here or in here. And if you look at it, pretty easy to find a place for this in just about any car, behind the seat, in the trunk, behind the back seats, somewhere. And in the event something happens, you're going to be thankful that you put this stuff together. And who knows, maybe it'd save your life or somebody else's life. Additionally, you can see there's a little detent there. I would include a rainproof tarp, maybe a lightweight rainproof jacket, another thermal, one of those tinfoil mylar blankets would be helpful. Those are some other things that I'm thinking about. It can make people really anxious if disasters are happening around them and they're not prepared. They know they're not prepared, and they don't know what to do or where to begin or how to do it. It's not hard, but when you're in the middle of something, you can't think clearly. It takes a little bit of forethought, a little thinking ahead of time, a little preparation. And any preparation that you do or that I do will be something that will help the process of pushing back over that which can otherwise just overwhelm you. So that's my hope. And you all have the ability to add way more than what I've put up here. I mean, there are a lot of people out there in the community that have way more experience, way more understanding, having been involved in way more difficult situations than I've been in. I've only been through, an earthquake or two that destroyed the town I lived in. So I'm sure there are other people that have way more experience with disasters than I do. And any preparedness tips, ideas, products, anything like that that you care to put into the comments, I am so grateful and thankful for. And know that down the road, people watch my videos and read the comments. So you might be contributing to somebody's well-being far beyond anything that we can possibly imagine. And that's what my hope is that this medium Once you post something on YouTube, it's there forever. So I try and post worthwhile, good, relevant content that's not going to go out of style anytime soon. And based on what we see from our surroundings, disasters are something here to stay. So if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you think it'd help somebody else, share it with them. And as always, comment, especially comment on this video as you see fit. Thanks for watching. Till the next video, see you later.